to me, season 3 was kind of disappointing. Now, don't get me wrong. I love seeing Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, and he was badass. Like, don't get me, like, he was still badass, but just to me, he didn't live up to my expectations. And okay, just so I don't go hating in the comments, like I said, Soldier Boy's still badass. He has some good lines. It's just for me, I feel like he didn't do enough combat wise. You know, I mean, obviously he had a good fight scene with Homelander, the first time with Homelander, and then the ending. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more. And like, this is all just my opinion, so don't even go there. Justin Ackles, I love him. He's an amazing actor. Obviously, Supernatural, Dean Winchester, amazing. But in this season, I just feel like he wasn't really like reached his full potential. And who knows? Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe it's setting up season 5. Like I thought it would have been setting up season 4, but it's probably to set up season 5. And like honestly, it's not even just Soldier Boy. It kind of goes for a lot of characters too. In the first 2 seasons, like I feel like a lot of the main characters weren't really on screen that much, you know, or like they weren't the focal point a lot. Now, obviously, with 8 episodes a season, it can be hard to give every character, especially that many characters, screen time. But even then, I feel like they still could have did more. Like how like Black Noir, like obviously he doesn't speak, but he was barely there in the first 2 seasons. So I'm thinking like, what's the point of his character? And then obviously season 3 is where it gets revealed he used to be on Soldier Boy's team, but even then, like he had a couple scenes, solo scenes, obviously with him in his head with all those little characters, but like I just feel like he could have actually. He didn't even get to see Soldier Boy again. You know what I mean? Like obviously you saw him on footage with Homelander and Deep and Ashley, but he didn't really. I kind of wish they interacted or like they talked or like not talk obviously because Black Noir doesn't talk, but like I kind of wish they saw each other again in person. But obviously, I guess with the way they did it, I guess it's fine. It's just that was just my like hope or want. Getting back to that, even Queen Maeve to an extent wasn't really there. Like, okay, and I know she had conflict with Homelander, obviously on the plane, leaking the video. But even with her being a main character in that conflict, again, this is all just me. I feel like she wasn't even there. Like, it was basically just Homelander because obviously he's the main villain at that point, but she wasn't really there. And like the same goes for Vicky Newman. Like obviously we knew she was there in season 2, but I feel like in season 3, like yeah, she was there early on, but obviously once we introduced Soldier Boy, she kind of like laid low. But obviously, again, maybe that's strategic. You know, like if there was like 20 episodes a season, then obviously it would probably be a lot easier to give each character filler episode. But obviously that's not how it goes. So, anyways, getting back to Soldier Boy, I think heading into the season, I had too high expectations for him. Like I thought he was going to be just this badass guy, especially considering like I saw clips or like not even necessary clips, like thumbnails of shorts saying Soldier Boy's tough, he's a menace, he's insane. And like even watching a couple is like, okay, he looks badass. He looks different. Concerning, I had just finished watching Supernatural like a couple months ago. And was like, you know what? I'll watch The Boys for Jensen Ackles. And obviously, maybe that probably was like a mistake because I feel like only watching a show specifically for an actor or a character, even if, especially considering they're not even a main character until a specific season, like Soldier Boy's only in season 3. So like, just trying to wait for season 3 only is like, it kind of could ruin the first 2 seasons. It didn't ruin it for me. I love the first 2 seasons. I think those first 2 seasons were better than season 3. Considering how Jensen Ackles did with Dean Winchester, I thought it would be the same level of intensity. Now, again, Soldier Boy is badass, but for the purpose of his character, he didn't live up to that. Like, he like when he was introduced, his main thing was like, oh, he has to get revenge on his team. Which okay, but that was a little dragged out. Now, obviously, you can't just kill everyone in one episode, but I understand that. But like that being the only thing, and like, again, like when he was threatening Huey in the woods when they were about to kill the mind reader guy. Like obviously, like Huey's just talking shit on him, saying, "Oh, he wasn't all this, he wasn't that." He just punched him. Soldier Boy punched Huey and was like, "I fucking warned you." Like, yeah, that's badass. Like, and usually I'm immersed in the show. Like I said, I'm usually always immersed, so like I don't even care. It's like, okay, he's here, but maybe like the only reason I didn't really think that was because he had Jensen Ackles. Oh shoot, you know. And obviously, his character, or like for me, lack of intensity or combat in season 3, could be just to set up season 5. And like, I'm not really going to recap the entire season. Just obviously, like I said, Homelander was betrayed by his team and given to the Russians. He was experimented on, tortured for 40 years almost. And then when the boys realized that he is the weapon that could kill Homelander, they went out to, I'm pretty sure, Germany or Russia. I think it was Russia, because of Frenchie's contact. Like, what was her name? I forgot her name. I'm sorry. But, he got his old boss gave him a job. Or, like, that was his own separate thing, which I guess kind of, it was nice how they blended that together. And it was like Frenchie's own private stuff that bled into, like, the actual, like, main plot of the story, Like, that was a good way they did that. I like that. And then, they get there, they free him, and obviously he just runs away. The boys go back to the States. Now, I don't get this. I don't know how Soldier Boy got back to the States. I get he just hopped on a plane, but like, and of course he ended up in like New York, where Vought and the boys are. Of course he ended up there. And then when he got there, he fucking blew up a whole street. So, obviously Vought is going to look into that. Homelander saw the footage. Well, actually, it wasn't even that. It was actually something else. But and then obviously Soldier Boy kills his girl. What was her? Crimson Queen. She. Shout out Laurie Holden. I mean, way different from The Walking Dead. Andrea. Like, okay, he kills her. Fucking, he has this new power. This like, what is it called? Radioactive power that just fucking fries people. You know what I mean? And that also gets rid of people's powers. Like it was in that one episode of season 3 with the Herogasm. That was such a freaky ass episode, bro. I mean, bro. Whatever. Anyways, after he kills the Dynamite Twins, he fights Homelander with Butcher, and with the help of a naked Huey. But Homelander still escapes because Soldier Boy can't get it up, I guess, But that's its own thing. And then later on, Soldier Boy realizes that Homelander is his son because they had him, do that shit. And that doesn't even stop him because he's like, oh, when he sees them again, it's like, oh, you're pathetic. I could have raised you to be a proper superhero. When they get to that final scene, that final fight scene, they're all teaming up to take down Homelander. And, they all fight. And then Soldier Boy hurts Ryan, and that's what sets Butcher off. You're like, no, it stops here. And obviously, they start fighting. And then Maeve is fighting Homelander, in a separate room. He takes an eye out, which is badass. That was cool. But, yeah, at this point, and the boys are helping Butcher help fight Soldier Boy. So, until Queen Maeve sacrifices herself, tackles Soldier Boy out of the window, he uses his radioactive power, blows up. That didn't even kill them. That just took Maeve's powers away. She can be a normal person with her girl somewhere else. And then Soldier Boy's put into, like, a box to sleep. And I know, obviously, that the characters talked about Soldier Boy and, like, what they said. Like, oh, he's the hero of all heroes. And even that Homelander was scared of him, Earlier, Maeve said it when she was held captive. It was a top 3 day for her because that's the day she saw him scared. But even then, like I said, Soldier Boy, I feel like there's a lot left to be decided. And I pretty much already shared my feelings about the season, or at least like the Soldier Boy part. But yeah, I just want to end it on one thing real quick. Jensen Ackles is still the GOAT.